Well, good morning, and this is a day of wonderful, fun celebration. I introduce to you Bobbie Casalino-Lewis, and we are celebrating today an accomplishment that has been several years in the making. Welcome, Bobbie. 3 years in the making, right? Woohoo!
Thank you, Becky. Yeah. Well, in truth, it was probably more than 3 years because I think the seed was planted the day I met you, which is probably about 6 years ago now. So maybe
Wow,
give or
that's
take.
amazing. I
Mhm.
remember all the conversations we had, and then your book. So that's what 70 looks like. um, came along. You talked about it when we first had that conversation, that first phone call that said, "I'm going to do this," and all that has transpired. COVID came along, and you kept saying, "Nope, not time. It's not time. Now's the time." And what a big congratulations I extend to you for bringing this fabulous book into the world.
Well, thank you for providing me the platform for my platform. Um, it's just writing is easy for me, but pulling the rest of it together, that's takes real skill, and that's where you provided me the most support, and bringing
Um,
our wonderful third person into the picture, our editor Lynn.
Lynn
So
Thompson.
Lynn Thompson, yeah, just it's been a magical trio of like-minded, like-spirited women bringing my story forward, which isn't just my story, it's everyone's story because I wrote it for everyone.
Yes, and the beautiful part about it, you had said something in your book, and I have the quote in front of me, so I didn't get it wrong. I'm at that wonderful juncture in life where I'm old enough to have experience and young enough to remember it, and that has always struck me because yes, as we walk into our 70s and 80s, there's always sometimes we don't remember things like we used to, but the wisdom that you have and your active role in showing up in the world in the way that you do, and really taking the time to share with women things that they can do to really enhance how they show up, and that's beautiful. So let's
Yeah.
talk about where this book started and how how this journey has been for you.
Well, the journey's been fun. It's been 3 years, and truthfully, 3 years. I woke up on my 70th birthday, so you can do the math. Now into my 70s. I woke up on my 70th birthday. It was August 15th, 2020. Not a whole lot of options as to where I could go, what I could do to celebrate that milestone. And 70 is a milestone. I think all birthdays are milestones, but 0 and 5 birthdays as you get older and the scales start tipping, one way or the other. I think that they're even bigger. They're bigger milestones. So I woke up in the morning and I couldn't go to Greece, and I couldn't take, jump out of an airplane. There were just so many things that I couldn't do. And the a phrase kept ringing in my ears because leading up to my birthday, so many people I knew and knew of me and in conversation, are, you're turning 70? And it just kept saying, God, you don't look it. You don't look it. And so I woke up on my 70th birthday and I go, well, I'll write a book. Dang. So that's what 70 looks like. So after all these people have been telling me that I didn't look like that. So it was just in that flash. And I called Jervell Sampson, my fabulous photographer, and I pitched the project to her, and she got me at about 6 words, and she says, "I'm your girl." And when you see the pictures, you know she was my girl. And then I called you and I said, I've got this concept. I'm going to photograph pictures of my essences and write stories around it. And I want you to publish it. And you said, I'm your girl too. So that was it. It was honestly, a matter of minutes, just a matter of minutes. and my direction was extraordinarily clear. I knew what I wanted to talk about because I had been living my essences. I'm looking across the room at my essence board, which we don't picture in the book anywhere because it's a private kind of thing. But I did a project and put together this essence board. So it's essence board is kind of like a vision board on steroids, but it's an inward journey rather than an outward journey to who you are and, how do you express yourself? And so that seemed like the perfect platform to talk about my essences. So one by one, we put pictures, photographs to it, and I put stories to it in my life, which showed how I was bringing forth that essence. So this book was truly, I think the word is overused, a journey. But it really was a journey. I almost felt like I had a car washing of my soul.
Well, and
And
it is that way. Writing a book is that way, and also really stepping into after a journey of life where maybe some things can be kind of very confusing. It's when you get to that point where you say, "I got it now." I understand. And you talk
mhm,
about the subtitle of your book is "The Essence of Aging Gracefully," which to me is something I think every woman would love to do. And yet this book isn't just for older women, it's for women of all ages. And oh my goodness, I
absolutely.
hope younger women will pick it up and be spared some of the journey. They catch on to it quicker because they will be able to serve the world in so much more outstanding ways if they can understand their own essences.
Yeah, because there's all those memes about, as you get older, you care less, you don't care what people think, you're just going to do it anyway, blah, 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 blah. But it's true. It's true if you know who you are. Because if you're not solid in who you are, then you're still going to be influenced by what people say or what the norms are, or what the advertisers are pushing to you or whatever. But if you can extract yourself from all that noise and all that external and really know on a core level who you are and what you want and how you want to do it, to me, that's grace.
That
That's
is
grace.
that is great.
So,
And I
yeah,
think
and
that
younger women sure too, because my concept was the book is good for everyone of every age, but I particularly honed in on the younger women because why should they step in the same potholes that we've stepped in or I've stepped in to arrive at a place when they're older in life to have the wisdom to have lived all that time better? So why not compress it? So my goal is for women to have this as a legacy book. I mean, maybe you get it and hand it down to your daughter, and your daughter hands it down to her daughter, so that we can compress that learning cycle and give 20 somethings the wisdom of 70 somethings. Oh my goodness.
oh, what an amazing life that would be. Ooh, that would
Right?
be amazing. Yes,
Right. Because
absolutely.
if we knew then what we know now, so why don't we share it with them so they have it now and then they can enjoy that so much longer? It used to be sewing circles and quilting circles where the elders passed down their wisdom and how to treat a baby with colic and what to do, with leftovers, how to jar tomatoes, that kind of stuff. And it was folklore and wisdom passing in a very comfortable way. And everyone was supported that way. We don't have that anymore. So
No, yeah.
my encouragement is to let's see if we can develop that, because what I'm probably going to be doing in the not too distant future, once the book has got a foothold, I'm going to be going around the world having wisdom circles, bringing women
Beautiful.
together, bringing women of all ages together so that they can share, because I really believe women are the community and community is the cure.
And that is so true. Without that community and without that interweaving locking arms and walking together. Women are very strong beings. You know, we're the ones that have had to have the periods and the and to have the babies, and something about that makes us even stronger. And we're the glue. Women play a huge role in being the glue that holds community and society together. And all of us, I think the majority of human beings on the earth really want to stand up and make a difference in the world. They want to be leaders. And one of the things that I have always appreciated about you and have been so impressed in the fact when we first met, we did you did a makeover for me and it was so fun, but it also really changed a perception of myself. And that's where you shine is because you look at how you show up today. This is you make the way you dress, the way we walk the part of leadership is it's how we show up. And that is beautiful. And you've always been quite the leader in that.
Well, I feel that we're obviously a combination of divine feminine and divine masculine. And I think in leadership, and I've been in a lot of leadership roles over my corporate career and now, of course, being an entrepreneur, but I think we adopted, perhaps I did, too much masculine, so that the feminine is really powerful in and of itself. And if you can balance that masculine and feminine energy to blend it, there again, I think you find grace.
Mm-hmm.
Because powerful can be graceful, and graceful can be powerful.
Right. And when you're comfortable in your own skin, it makes a big difference in how you show up in the world. Yeah.
It's the only way, because if you're not comfortable in your skin, no one around you is going to be comfortable with you, because
Right.
they're just reflecting back what you're putting out there. So that's why you have to, the energy that you emanate has to be yours.
Right.
And
Your
that
own
frequency.
signature, your own beauty, your own essence of of being who you truly are,
Yeah.
and stepping into it with grace is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think these wisdom circles may turn into essence workshops. I don't know where it's going to go yet. I'm hoping that, I'll be invited and I'll collaborate with others and we'll come up with something fabulous. But there's definitely some alchemy to the way we move forward. We can't keep doing things the way we've been doing them.
Mm-mm.
It's
No,
not sustainable, it's not joyful. And to me, the way a lot of people have been living, and I think I did it at certain points in my life, but not that much, is waiting instead of living. Waiting for the next promotion, waiting to lose 10 pounds, waiting to grow your hair out. I mean, whatever it is, we were waiting.
waiting
What?
for a family member to love you when they don't,
Oh.
all those things, you know,
Yeah,
those are all things that can rock your world, and you don't live huge because you're waiting.
yeah.
You don't really step into it because you let grief or pain or whatever overtake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so true. So, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but sometimes it's just those tiny little shifts that help you see things in a new way and, perspective. I mean, I was moving the camera around today to get, to get the right lighting and the right balance and where are my eyes going and that kind of stuff, so it's those little nuances. It's those little nuances. And that's pervasive in all of our life. You wake up every day and you have a choice. You have a choice to live that day or to wait that day out.
Yes, absolutely. Well, for those that are listening, this is a real major celebration, and our kudos is to you, Bobbie, for having the wisdom to bring this type of a book to the world. It is gorgeous. If you open up this book, it is meant to be kind of a tabletop book, something that will just capture somebody's attention as they walk into an office or it's on their own tabletop. And as this book spreads itself throughout the world, you will be in. Really, this book is written for as Bobbie says, for all women, but also for men that love women and that understand that it's something that sometimes that something special that comes that they share that book with a woman that they love or they care about, and making sure that this book gets really out there because there's so much wisdom that permeates through the pages of this book.
And I think it's thought-provoking. It's a
Mhm.
thought-provoking book because it's like, oh, you can relate to some of my antics and stories and sadness and whatever. You can relate to it, but maybe it'll, put a little pin light on something in your life that maybe you want to expand a little bit and explore a little bit. You're like, oh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that feels like this or experienced that. So I think it's really important that, that's that cocoon that we kind of keep pushing the boundaries on.
I've often taught a class for my authors, and it's on the four pillars of a story well told. And one of the pillars is becoming an advocate, because you're advocating with your book, you're advocating for women to, and showing them that there is a way. Maybe they didn't realize maybe they haven't stepped into their beauty and their greatness and their wisdom, and they didn't realize that they could. A book like yours isn't a book that advocates for women. It's a way shower. You're shedding the light of truth on really life and how we live it, and uniting people.
Mhm.
So those four pillars are woven into every bit of fiber of your book, and so kudos to you. And
Thank
for
you. Thank you. And I was very specific. Remember, I was very specific. This will never be a softcover book. And from the beginning, I wanted to have a lay flat binding. Remember, I said
Mhm.
I wanted to be able to see you can lay it open. And it's a big book, right? It's 11 inches or 11 and a half inches,
7 inches by
eight
8. Yeah,
and
yeah.
eight high. So it's like a children's storybook, like what I used to read my son when he was little. So and that's what I meant it to be. It's a storybook. There's a picture and there's a story, and there's a picture and there's a story, and then maybe there's another picture. So because graphics and visuals are so near and dear to my everything about,
Well,
because you need to look like your message.
that's right. And when pictures worth 1,000 words, and your pictures in your book are pretty amazing. So, you, so, well, thank you for allowing me to walk this journey with you. And it is my pleasure to help you bring it to the world in the way that it is. And we celebrate this day with you, and hope to celebrate many more days as we see this book take, take
Yeah,
its legs and run.
yeah, maybe there'll be a continued version. Who knows?
That'll be fun.
I enjoy
Well,
writing.
so we have a link underneath this video. Be sure and click that link to go over and get a copy of this amazing book. And even better, share it with somebody that you love.
Buy one,
Okay.
give one.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Bobbie, and kudos to you.
Thank you, Becky.